happy to have you here today. We have an amazing guest, and we're just happy that you are here to see and just hear what this wonderful woman is doing in her community. But anyway, we do have a sponsor. It is Get Enough to Touch. You know, COVID-19 is kind of going down a little bit, but since we've been so used to having hand sanitizer and things of that nature, it's just good to just have a little pack of something in your car. Yeah. And it's Get Enough to Touch, www.gett-products.com. And you'll get a little lip balm in here, a hand sanitizer, and a mask spray, because sometimes that mask get all wrong. So you can spray it a little bit and it'll be all right. So Get Enough to Touch. We appreciate you. Get one today. Thank you.
Okay, and so I'm Michelle. I'm the little sister of the group, but let me just tell you, so I'm excited because Regina, I really do like we were raised together pretty much. Like we grew up together. And so I am wanting to, I'm going to introduce you to everyone who is watching. This is Mrs. Regina Beasley Tate, and she is the owner of the Pointe. I want to get it right. The Pointe Company Technique Conservatory. And so you are the owner of a dance company in North Carolina. So Regina, thank you so much for coming. And I know you're a busy woman. You have a full plate. So let's go ahead and get this party started.
Let's get us started.
Regina. So tell me,
Regina.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna call you Gina.
Yes,
Gina.
Thank you.
Gina of the Pointe Company Technique Conservatory. Tell us what that is. Tell us what your company is.
So we always had like your typical dance studio, recitals, all that. During COVID, actually, it was a blessing and a curse. Gave me some time to just sit and think about this next chapter of my life and how I wanted to do things easier and not harder. And so I sat and I prayed, I prayed about it. And with God, honey, I downsized. We moved all during COVID. I ended up going exactly where I wanted to be, which was downtown Greensboro. Industrial warehouse type atmosphere. The vibe is really cool down there. It's around musicians and other performing artists. And we're all in the same vicinity. And I invited my students. Everyone couldn't come. I invited those and that was hard, but I invited those that were in love with the art, not just parent drop you off and you come to dance or you want to see your friends. So, and we turned it into a company. My company performs all over the place and, they do a bunch of exciting ththings. And so, and we get paid for our performances now. So that's what we do.
So I have a quick question for you. I'm sorry, Tracy. So real quick. So you went from, because you've had a dance studio for a while now, correct?
Yeah, 16 years, going on 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? And I've known you for years, and you a dancer. I remember going out to a restaurant and you getting up dancing in the middle of the day going,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Or at church. She used to always be dancing. I was like, wow, she's amazing. You would always dance and do the performances at church, during intermission or right before the sermon.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I never thought I would have a dance studio. It wasn't that childhood dream of mine. I wanted to be a famous performer. Yes. Either dance, act. I would have taken anything during that time. I was always just like trying to be the next big thing. And so I never really wanted a studio. That kind of just happened. I've always liked to dance. I did choreography even back then when we were children. I would choreograph things for my sister and I, especially during church, for church functions. And then it just happened. I can't even tell you, how you say that, sometimes your plans are not your own. and God always has something different for you.
Yeah.
So I was going on that path I wanted to move to New York. I wanted to, be a dancer. And the crazy thing is I never had formal training. My dad was one of those type of people, Black people don't do ballet. And, out of his ignorance, he wouldn't pay for me to get lessons. And I didn't start dancing until I was in college, where I was on financial aid because I was, under a single parent. And I was introduced to professional classes. My first ballet class was in college, so I was a late bloomer in dance. But what happened was I was so passionate about it. I started going to every class, even the classes I wasn't registered for, I would go sit at the door. Because all those kids, all those dancers had training when they were children. And so I had catching up to do. And so I would watch and I would practice more than anybody. And then when I came in, my teachers used to ask, where do you train? And I said, at home, in my living room. I never had formal training, but I always had a God-given gift for it. And I could always choreograph. It was something I just loved to do, and it came naturally. And so that's really how I got into it. One thing turned into the next. I auditioned for move to Charlotte, auditioned for the Carolina Panthers. Out of 600 girls, I got in again with no formal training. It was just a God-given gift. So, and I think about it, and I'm like, it was nothing but God. It had to be.
Yeah.
Auditioned 600 girls. They only chose 35 of us. I was one of the 35. Danced professionally, danced for a rap artist in Charlotte. And then I got married, moved to Greensboro, and I was working under another dance company. And I was looking at all the wrong she did. And I said, hey, I can do this myself. And that is how I opened up the Pointe Studio of Dance.
Wow.
Which is now the Pointe Company and Technique Conservatory.
I think that's absolutely amazing. Like, you didn't have any formal training, but because you were so passionate, and that's what people don't understand, you have to really be passionate about what you're doing and love what you do. And it can just blossom like any other, you don't have to spend so much money on that's practice.
Because God reveals his secrets to those who go for what their hearts desire.
Yes. I truly believe that. I think if God sees that you're working hard, it's like a catch-22, because I do believe that, of course, God already knows what you're supposed to be doing. He already has a path for you. You just kind of have to find it. And I think if it's for you, then it's going to happen. And he gave me the gift, so why not follow it? You know what I mean? It was something I was good at.
Yeah.
So why not go after it? And the greatest thing, I made a career out of it, and I'm still doing it 17 years later.
17 years. So you know what? You know what's funny? I remember, I don't know, a while ago, you there was like a photo of the Carolina Panthers, like then and now, and you were like considered the old school or the throwback.
We were the inaugural. I was on the very first Carolina Panthers. Girl, I'm old now. I'm telling my age. You making me tell my age. I was on the very first inaugural squad. We were the first. I remember them canceling our first year after the audition because the stadium wasn't built yet. They went to Clemson, if you remember. So they didn't have space for the cheerleaders. So we literally had to wait a year to cheer in our home stadium. So, it's crazy. And another crazy part, like, it was 9 Black women, which was unheard of in NFL.
Yes.
Back then we had 9, and we are all still very close. It's like a sorority. We all still talk. We all still gather when we can. We keep up with each other. We have our own page that's, just ours, and we check in on each other. So all these years, and we still talk.
That is such a beautiful thing, because it's one thing I have to say is you are probably the only person that I know that had such a passion for it. And then now your son is dancing, and beautiful.
And you know what?
Beautiful.
What
Yeah.
I love is that you took on the Lion King.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely amazing. The costumes and everything is just absolutely wonderful. I mean, what possessed you to want to do the Lion King?
Avalon. We did Cinderella. We did Annie, and these are all dance adaptations. So we bring our own flavor. We literally take a concept, a movie, and these were movies. And it's so crazy because we did The Wiz first. Love The Wiz. Michael Jackson, Wiz. And that was one of my childhood movies that, we still watch that. And I had a dancer, her name was Jasmine Rouse, and she reminded me of Dorothy, but in dance form. And I called her mom up one day out the blue, and I said, you know what? We're going to do an all dance version of The Wiz, and Jasmine is going to be my Dorothy. And it happened. And we did it for 5 years, not consecutively, but we did it for 5 years. I had 4 different Dorothys, and Avalon came up to me during that show. He was Toto. He started off as Toto. He was little too, real little. He came up to me one day. We were doing Annie, which was our next show. And it was at the same time Jamie Foxx came out with the black version of Annie. We've been right on time with everything. Let me just say that too. Every time we say we're going to do something, a remake comes out, something comes out on TV. We're like, I know it's God, because we're always in line with whatever is going on. And so, and that's no joke, because people are like, how do you do that? I said, it's not me, it's God.
Right.
Jamie Foxx came out with the movie, and we had ours first. We did it a year already. Then Jamie Foxx comes out with his the second year we did it. So anyway, my son comes up to me, and he was probably about maybe 11, 12 maybe. And he says, why don't we do Andy? So I can do a lead. All the girls always have leads. No joke. This is a true story. And at that point, I went, and even though we did Lion King years after, I said, I have to do a show that has a male lead. And that is how Lion King came about.
Wow.
Yeah. And it gave the boys, because a lot of dance studios don't have boys. They're scared. And the guys I had were really good. So I wanted to do a show that the guys could be showcased. And Avalon wasn't the only one. I had a couple of guys in that show.
You know what? I look at him and I see his talent and it is such a beautiful thing, because I never forget when you were in high school, you did The Wiz, or The Wizard of Oz, right? No, it was
in high school. It was
in high school. I think it was the
Sound of Music.
I never forget going to that show, and I was just so taken. And I know it takes a lot of work.
It does.
So how do you do it? Is there a team of people? How do you do it?
My parents, and I know Tracy mentioned the costumes. My parents, I have a team of parents that lead that, but we tell the parents what we want, and they have to go get it. They make it. I have a team. Wow. It's about 4 women. They have to be approved by these 4 women. And these 4 women also make costumes for me. So and they are also all parents of mine. Some of them are, their kids have graduated, and they come back with me every year to make sure everything is put together. They make the costumes. They make the props. The kids decorate. They help their parents decorate. So when you look at the costumes, even Avalon's as Simba, my mom was a seamstress. My mom made his costume.
Wow.
And we put the tail on from the Wiz. We used the lion's tail from the Wiz, honey. We chopped up costumes. We say, what can we take from Annie? What can we take from the Wiz? So that tail he had was the Mino lion's tail, girl. It was the Mino lion's tail. So we reuse a lot of stuff, but it's up to us to put the costumes together. And because Avalon was my son, I had to put his costume together.
Wow.
And that's how, the parents, if I didn't have my parents, I got some good parents, honey.
Yeah.
They have ride or die with me. Some of them been in 17 years with me.
Wow.
Yes, I have the same. Their kids are gone and graduated, and they still help me with my stuff.
That is a beautiful, because they know it's quality. Like,
yes.
I mean, I want to say, so do you have any, you help them get into different schools and stuff too, correct?
I do. I have two right now at Alabama State. One just graduated. Both went on to earn. I ain't gonna say receive. They earned it. Full ride scholarships.
Wow.
I have a slew of kids that have gotten full ride scholarships at Alvin Ailey in New York, Dance Theater of Harlem. Avalon has gotten scholarships everywhere. Charlotte Ballet, which was really tough to get into. They've done CDI. I mean, and they, most of the time, my kids get, if not partials, full ride scholarships, and helping them get into college as well.
Mm-hmm. So what would you tell a young dancer wanting to fulfill their dreams? What would you tell that young person to do?
From my experience, Tracy, it really takes heart, because I feel like even some of the best dancers that have no personality, I mean, you don't enjoy watching, they don't draw you in. I really believe that they have to have, this allure about them. Like, if you see a really good performer, they can make you cry. They can pull out emotions. And I'm not just talking about dance, I'm talking about singers. And y'all know this just from watching singers, dancers, actors, they can make you believe. And so the thing that we do differently at the Point is that our kids are very emotional dancers. So I would tell anyone aspiring to be a performer is that they have to bring emotion into it, and they have to be authentic to who they are. I feel like those are the best dancers. They may not be the best technicians, but it's something about them that pulls you in, and it just makes you want more, it makes you cry or makes you happy. And I am proud to say my kids, they are so passionate. If you see them on stage, and they sometimes aren't the best technicians. And Lord knows we work on technique, but they just have the heart. It's just the heart.
Yeah. So what is your, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Tracy, go ahead.
No. So what do you do now? I know you have dancers that probably train. You don't have to do that much of that anymore, do you?
Oh, we do. We have new dancers coming in like every other month. They have to, and now they have to audition to get into the conservatory. So I get to be choosy, and you get to, when they come in, auditions look like they just come and do a trial class and you just observe them. That's basically what it is now. If you weren't there at the beginning, and you can see those that try, those that give up. We don't accept everybody, because I feel like if I'm going to spend this much time training you, then you're going to have to bring something to the table. I'm not going to train you because your mama want to be here. Your mama wants you to be here. We don't want those kids. Unfortunately, I mean, we don't. I've been there, done. That was what the studio was. Everybody could do the recitals. And as far as, we're about to go back into the Prince of Egypt. Auditions are coming up in March. We are hoping to do the Black Theater Festival again. And even though the kids are at the conservatory, they still have to audition. I still need to see that they are still passionate, and that I'm not going to give them anything. They still have to work for it. They still do.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So like I watched the documentary on Debbie Allen. And
hot chocolate nutcracker.
Yes. When I tell you, I think I probably cried because it was so beautiful how she does that. And so of course I thought of you. I was like, that's so Regina. So are you a Debbie Allen? Because when you walking in out past her, they're like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna compare myself to Miss Debbie Allen, because there's only one of her. I don't know. Honestly, I work so hard, and I've just crazily started a new business venture, because I'm not gonna say I get bored, but as an artist, I do have other passions, and I love them just as much. And another part of my creativity is designing houses. I live for that. And like I said, I'm rushing to this interview, basically because we just did a reveal tonight. And so, I mean, they were crying, and I was like, okay, I got to go to the podcast. Like, I mean, we showed them the studio real quick, and they were so excited. I was like, okay, enjoy it with your family. I got to go. So, that's another part of one of my new business ventures. But anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy. I don't know if I'm coming or going. But I just feel like if I don't do it, who's gonna do it?
Who
Right.
will do it? And so, and here you go. So now you're doing, so you have your studio, and I want to see it because I know it's beautiful, because I even enjoy the photos that you have up there. So, but I looked at the like the nursery that you did, your master suite that you did, Deidre's, your sister's house that you did. So like, so you decided, you and your husband decided not only to open up a dance studio, but you guys have an interior decorating. So are you doing construction? Is all that your husband?
You know, we might hire out to do huge projects like the beauty salon. We did hire out, but like Jamie was the project manager because we can't do everything because we both have full-time jobs. So Jamie will hire out if he needs to. Now, my husband does knock down walls, put up walls, plumbing. He does all of that. So a lot of the smaller jobs, yes, we do ourselves. And it's called A Unique Point of View, as you can see on my shirt.
Love it.
Very
and I
nice.
took the point from the dance studio so I can be Pointe all over again. But anyway, the crazy part about this is I would transform my house, and it was getting very expensive because I would do a room and then in a year I'd go back and redo it just because I wanted to see how it looked different. And one day Jamie came up to me, which is my husband, and he says, you know what? If you're going to keep putting money in our house, it's not old, it's not messed up, you just want to decorate, go out and do somebody else's house. And that's how that got started.
Wow.
No joke.
And so you guys, you do some, nice work.
Wait till you see the salon I just did.
Yeah.
That was my biggest job so far.
I was wondering, I was like, so are you gonna, because I did look on your page prior to you coming on. I'm like, well, I don't see the salon. So, well, not the salon, I didn't know what it was.
I had to let them see it, Miss Michelle, before I could. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram. You can follow. So that will be going up. Avalon also is an artist of many talents, and he does videography. So all of the things you see on my page or on YouTube, my son put that together.
Oh, wow.
So tell us, what's your YouTube channel?
Because, what we're trying to do is make sure that he's out of our pockets one day. And so we're trying to make sure that he has his own thing. And, he sees us working tirelessly hard. And I said, well, look, you got to get out and hustle too. Yeah. So he does that as well. He wants to do Broadway one day, but this is going to be what brings money in until he can make that happen.
So what is his what's your YouTube and your Instagram?
It's A Unique Point of View.
Okay.
You just look up a unique point of view.
Hey, hold on. Excuse me. I was listening in. I'm not eavesdropping, but he wanted to do Broadway.
He does.
I have a cousin that's big time Broadway, New York. Similar word. And
what's his name?
You talk to her, and I see, because he grew up across the street from us. That gone way back in the day. I ain't eavesdropping, but that I don't hear that though. Young brothers, I don't hear that stuff. That caught my attention.
Yeah, because he's very talented. He's beautiful. Like that photo with his legs.
I am dead serious. I am dead serious. That's past information.
Okay.
I will let her know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. He does. We try to make connections all we can because that's the dream. So
yes.
And
he's gonna make it.
I can see. Come on, hear that.
We've been supporting him because
hear that.
I
don't hear that from no young bros.
Yeah, he hasn't dropped that dream, not as of yet.
Past information. That's why I can finagle.
Okay. So you're on YouTube. You're A Unique Point of View.
Yes, I have a website for the conservatory as well as it's a uniquepointofview.com, and we're going to update it pretty soon because we got a lot of stuff we've done that's not even on there because I haven't had time.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time. And of course,
Yeah.
it's www.thepointe Studio of Dance, where you can see all the kids and what we have going on. That's pretty updated constantly. But because the Unique Point of View is a pretty new venture, we've done quite a bit. We just haven't put it out there because we stay so busy.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I didn't go to school for it, just like I didn't really go to school for dance. Then I started dancing, but it was just a passion that I had, and I love to do it. I mean, I just love to do it.
Now, what about baby boy? Does he like dance or?
He is all sports.
Okay.
All sport. His favorite thing is soccer, so he is a sports fanatic.
Okay.
He don't want nothing to do with dance. He hates going to the studio. He hates sitting through his brother's shows. He is that, okay, what time is it? It's time to go home. Because he has seen more Broadway shows than anybody that, you know what I'm, because he's always, that's us.
Yeah. You guys travel, you're really hands-on with your students. And I just think that is such a beautiful thing.
Definitely.
So I one more question. So how do you deal with difficult parents? Have you had a difficult parents like my son and my daughter need to be doing this, that, and the other, and I want you to.
It was hard with Avalon at first, of course, you know, boys don't dance and this, that. And it really was, Avalon grew up. He was in a swing while I was teaching. You know, he would be right in front of the classroom while I was teaching because I had Jamie, my husband, worked third shift. I had to take him to work with me. The parents would help me watch him while I'm teaching their children. He was always there. And then when he got to the age where he had to be there and he was walking, I said, hey, you need to jump into class and get some exercise. I mean, you might as well because you're here. Yeah. And he did. He jumped in one day, like literally when he was 2 or 3. And we put him in this little creative movement class that the lady I used to work for was teaching. And he has been dancing ever since. It is that case that I always told him, if you want to do something else, let me know, because you don't have to do this. And then it came to the point where he was like, oh, you going to the studio? I'm going. And it was him. It was him. Yeah. So that's what happened. That's how he got started.
Wow.
And he also sings and acts just as well. We didn't even know he could sing until 3 years ago.
Wow. He's just talented. He's about to be the next celebrity because we need more. We need more people. We need more. And there's a lot of talent out there. So he is definitely, I can see him being on the big screen.
I think if he keeps his head on straight, you know, he's a boy, he's young, he's in college. I told him, if you really want it, you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it. Definitely. So, and it's not just him. I encourage all my kids, all of them. I got talented kids at the studio. So I'm just encouraging and pushing. I go to their auditions with them. I do all of that.
Even the little ones.
Even the little ones. Even the little ones. And they bad, honey. That little group coming up, they off the chain.
Yeah. So do you separate them by age in your company?
No. We go by technique ability. If you can't hang, you get dropped down to the next level.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
I don't care. You can be 6 dancing with 16-year-olds as long as you can keep up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't believe in holding anybody back. And plus, how you gonna say all the 5-year-olds can dance, but this 5-year-old been dancing for 3 years and this one just started?
Yeah,
that makes no sense. It makes no sense. No.
Well, you know what?
They go where they fit in.
Yeah. Well, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
On the show. Gina Tate is her name. She is the owner of
Pointe Company Technique Conservatory.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and let me just tell you,
unique point of view.
A unique point of view. So if you need your house interior decorated, call her, because as soon as I'm able, I'm calling you.
And if you live in North Carolina and anywhere else,
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yes.
Yes. And also, if you want your child in dance, have them try
out. Sign up, try out, come to a free trial class, and we'll get them straight.
Yes.
And you have go ahead.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I was gonna say, and you have auditions going on right now for
All the time. All the
Okay.
time. You can
Okay.
come
Thank
in
you,
at any
guys.
time.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry to cut you off. We love you. We thank you
Love
so much
y'all.
for coming
I
on.
love you, Regina.
This
Anytime.
was amazing. It was so good to
Anytime.
see you.
You too. I love
Oh,
y'all.
so good to say. Love you too. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Tell your
We gotta
husband
catch
to say
up.
hey.
Yes.
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 Definitely.
Yes.
Y'all be good.
Okay.